One of the main things that we'll notice with some of the dinks that Connor hit, we'll call them not his best. Well, actually, probably maybe they were his best before he got here. All right, guys, so Connor Derrickson here has been begging me to teach him how to hit the two-handed backhand dink. I've been telling him over and over that you do need a certain level of talent to be able to execute this shot well, and from what I've heard, it's going to be difficult, but hey, if I can teach Connor Derrickson how to do it, I can teach you, and that's what we're gonna do here today. So, Connor, how do you feel?
Let's get started.
All right, now we're going to just use our right hand, and we're gonna focus on cupping the ball, just getting the outside of it. So you've seen probably Ben Johns do this with his one-handed backhand. Do that sort of cupping motion, especially in singles. The exact same thing with the two-handed backhand dink. So the two-handed backhand dink is not a low to high like this. It's more of a cupping motion coming on the outside. There's that right there. That's good. That's how you should come around the ball. Yep, getting the outside of the ball. That's how you should come around it. So one of the main things with the two-handed backhand dink is you're not getting the bottom of the ball. So when you hit a forehand topspin dink, you're getting either the back or the bottom, kind of depending on how you hit it and where you hit it from. But when you hit a two-handed backhand dink, you are getting outside of the ball. So if you're righty, that means you're getting the left side of the ball, coming around it like this. I think that's easier for me, especially when I go cross court, because when it bounces, it's gonna run away from you. It's also one of the cons of it is that you will give up some ATPs maybe, so you want to kind of bring it toward that middle of the box for the most part. But you need a lot of knee bend because you're not coming under the ball. So with a topspin forehand dink, you might notice you don't need to bend your knees as much because you're coming under it. So you're naturally, especially, for example, with a slice, it's the same thing, coming under the ball. But with a two-handed backhand dink, you're literally hitting the side of the ball. So you have to get under it with your body. You ever watch me hit it? All the way down here, getting that outside of the ball. I want you to try to bend your knees, actually exaggerate the knee bend. It's gonna feel awkward, but I mean, you're a pickleball trainer, you know how to bend your knees. It's actually, okay, wait a second, am I that good of a coach to teach Connor?
This works so easy.
But actually, you know, it's funny, I really was fully intending on roasting his technique, but this isn't as bad as the odds makers thought it would be.
The odds makers, come on, dude. Look at that.
Hey, that's actually pretty good.
Should I hop?
Look at that. Okay.
What a coach.
Look at that. You see that? I'm actually really surprised.
Come on. It's so funny. I don't get why that's so funny. I don't understand it. He's so shocked.
I mean, just from what I've seen and heard and been told, my expectations are pretty low. Yeah, just bring these cross court.
All right, Mac, coming at you.
It's not bad. The technique's pretty good. Yeah, getting the outside of the ball well. Good. Oh my God.
Oh! We hit the camera. What are the odds? Look at this guy. He's so disappointed.
I think we should just call it. we can't even put that in.
Full miss hit, my bad. Won't happen again.
Try to focus more on the left hand.
Okay,
So
okay.
bringing the left hand around the ball, I think that's one of the key things. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That was probably going to give up an ATP, but we'll allow it. Technique is good. Yeah, that's solid. Good. So we have footage of him hitting it well, which is essential. I was afraid we wouldn't get that.
Okay, you need some bat?
We got that. We have that too.
Yeah, we do have that. You got it.
All right, so one of the other things with the two-handed backhand dink that's super important is when people are hitting this shot, a lot of them are kind of pulling up their body and pulling up their head. So I see that pretty often. I mean, especially at the lower levels, anything below 4.0, people are pulling up like this. I like to think of if there's something an inch above my head, I'm not going to touch it while I'm making contact with the ball. So after I make contact, I can pull up a little bit, but while I'm touching that ball, I'm trying to stay low, I'm trying to stay down, and I'm not doing this with my head. So I'll show you a couple here.
Okay.
actually not open stance when you go cross court. So I'm always teaching people that when they speed up the ball, they should be open stance, because if you're speeding it up, you want to be in the situation where you're ready to counter, right? You speed up like this, it comes back to me, I'm in a tough spot if I'm closed stance. If I'm open and I speed it up, I'm ready for the next one. Super simple. But when you're dinking here, you're not able to create enough space if you're open stance. If you're closed stance, you have space, it's a lot easier. When I go cross court dink, I'm almost always stepping forward like that, and then when I go down the line, then I'm open stance. So just to recap, if you're dinking cross court, you want your foot in front, usually kind of in this way. You're not crossing your feet over. You never want to cross your feet over, but your right foot's in front of your left, and you're bringing it across, and then when you go down the line, that's when you can be more open. And it's almost a different shot within itself. It's not, you're not actually coming on the outside of it.
So how do you like disguise it then?
I honestly do not disguise the cross court backhand dink. I think it's, when I do look like I'm about to get a cross court backhand dink, it's pretty clear that that's what I'm gonna do. I think one of the common misconceptions with pickleball players is that they should disguise all their shots. I don't really think that, disguising the nature of the shot that you're about to hit is as necessary as people think. I think disguising where it's going can be helpful. But a lot of the best, attackers, right? I mean, if you watch Matt Wright or Dylan Frazier, or even like Colin, for example, like they make it pretty clear when they're going to speed the ball up. Like Matt will think like this, and then when he's going to speed it up, it's obvious that he's going to speed it up. The deception aspect of it is where it's going. Like we don't know where the ball's actually going, so I could go inside foot, I could go cross court that way. It's but the fact that I'm thinking cross court is not necessary. All right, so a very, very important aspect of the two-handed backhand dink is mixing up your spots. So for me, I'm not always going to the same spot every time. I think that with a two-handed backhand dink, if you're getting a good amount of roll on it, you're able to be aggressive, you're able to create stuff and make things happen. So for me, that means it's very important to be mixing up the spots. If you go to the same spot every time with an aggressive dink, it's not as aggressive as you think it is, because that other person can kind of camp out there and wait for it. So for me, I'm trying to go inside foot, basically meaning toward the middle of the court a little more, maybe a little bit closer to that left side player who's cross court from you than the actual center line itself. And then sometimes go wide here and be very aggressive with that wide dink. So another thing is, because of the geometry of the court, because there's more space from this corner to that corner than there is from this corner to the middle, you can go cross court very hard. And if you've seen me hit it, I can hit that dink with a lot of pace and a lot of action, just because you're going through the lowest part of the net, right? Net is 34 inches in the middle, 36 inches on the side. And if you go cross court, you have a ton of space. So with that one, as long as you're not giving up the ATP, remember that you can go inside foot sometimes, and then when you bring them out wide, that's when you really get your legs into it and you put some extra pace on that one. One of the things that I would recommend for all of us hitting the two-handed backhand dink, when you try to hit it harder and you try to go cross court, that doesn't mean that you're swinging much faster, right? I'm actually not swinging as fast as you might think. I'm just using a lot of legs and a lot of shoulder turn. If you see me hit it, especially when I hit it hard, I'm getting really under the ball. I mean, anybody that's watched me play could definitely attest to that. So when you go cross court, just think more legs, not more arm and not more wrist. All right, guys, so this is very, very important. We are going to be having an app together, Connor and I. He convinced me to do it. We are going to have an app where you guys are gonna have a full plan on how to get better. It's gonna be completely comprehensive. It's gonna include your pickleball training. It's gonna include fitness training. And you guys are gonna be sending me directly footage of you playing. I'm gonna be watching it, and then we're gonna be giving you guys a full plan on how to get better. We're gonna be dissecting what you need to work on, whether it's just pickleball or if it's fitness related, or if it's probably what it's gonna be is both. And then I'm gonna be dropping in there in the community that we're gonna be creating twice a month. We're gonna be doing Q&As. Any questions that you guys have, I'm gonna be trying to answer those. And it's gonna be me personally answering the questions. And if you do have questions for Connor, I guess he'll be there too, answering some questions as well. But mainly, I'm gonna be involved, and it's gonna be an incredible app. It's gonna be an incredible experience. We're gonna make sure you guys get better. So feel free to check it out.
Drop down in the show notes. Check out the priority list. We're dropping September 1st when we launch. So get on the priority list, drop down the show notes, links down there.
And I didn't even know we were starting September 1st. I'm just focused on making you guys better.
I'll handle that.